Hi everyone, and welcome to today's video. If this is the first time that you're seeing me, I am the Hermit Tarot and this is my YouTube channel. In today's video, we are going to be doing a pick a group tarot reading. It's technically a love reading, but it turned out to be a whole lot more, you guys. It always is. When you end up channeling higher selves, things get a little complicated, a little crazy. So let me introduce today's topic, and then I will also introduce the extended reading, which will be available on my website. So right here on YouTube, we're going to be covering the topic of channeled messages from your person's higher self. If you're not familiar with higher selves, we're essentially transcending this 3D reality of what we see, touch, taste, hear, and smell, and we're connecting more with this person's energy, their spirit, the side of them that isn't connected and tethered to this consciousness. The higher self realm is more associated with the 4D and 5D dimensions, and it's very transitional in the sense of that energy is very transmutable. It is much more aware, wise, connected, and for that reason, the messages end up becoming a little bit more profound. So prepare yourselves. I highly recommend you get a notebook, something to write with, something to write on, and as always, take what resonates. That's why I journal when I watch pick a group readings, so that I can write down what is helpful and so that I can forget what isn't helpful in a general reading. So following that specific topic of channeled messages from your person's higher self, we will also be getting tarot cards to help explain what their higher self wants to say to you. I will be channeling messages first person in the beginning and then offering my objective experience of what I picked up on while I was channeling. We're then going to get some channeled messages from their 3D self, what their 3D self wants to say to you, and then we're going to get advice. Now, this isn't your typical how are they thinking and feeling tarot reading, so I really recommend you strap yourself in for some truthful, factual information. It can get a little blunt at times, so remember that we are really transcending that 3D scope of awareness and getting deep into this person's energy when you pick a group today. Now, the extended reading will be exploring the future of your connection to this person. For that, I will be getting tarot to just lay it down thick. We're going to have a look exactly at what is happening between you and them in the future of this connection. Then I will be exploring what is shifting in this connection. What is shifting for you? What is shifting for them? And that language is just a complicated way of saying what is changing. So how is the connection changing? What is changing for you? What is changing for them? We're also going to get advice in the extended readings. And depending on your individual situation, we will pull additional confirmation. We'll ask other questions that help clarify your individual situation. So I do recommend that you take a good amount of time to figure out which of these three groups you're feeling most called to. Keep in mind that a lot of people watch these readings, so it's very important that you connect intuitively with the right group for you, whether you choose to use your own weird, wild, wonderful method or whether you choose to be a part of the meditation in this reading to help connect with your intuition and pick a group that you're confident in. I just recommend that you make sure you're connecting with the right group because those messages are very deep and I don't want it to create additional confusion. I want to make sure that this reading gives you the clarity that you need. So connect with your intention, connect with your intuition, and I will take you now into the pick a group portion where you can figure out which of these three groups you are feeling most drawn to. So the first thing I want you to do with me is to take in 2 deep, mindful breaths. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4, and in, 2, 3, 4, and out, 2, 3, 4. Now I want you to focus on clearing your mind. It's natural to have thoughts racing at this point. I want you to embrace each thought as it comes and let it slip as quickly as it came in. Focus on clearing and balancing out these thoughts so that they come and go without a desire to be attached to them. And now, with a rested mind, I want you to think of the first group that comes to your mind. It may be a number, it may be an object that I showed you. It could be a specific color, it could be a feeling that you felt when I showed you each of the groups today. When you are ready and when you feel confident, select your group and join me in your reading. Hi Group 1 and welcome to your reading. We're going to get straight into it today. We're asking Spirit for channeled messages from your person's higher self. Their 3D self will also come in at the end. We're going to get some channeled messages from some channeled messages decks. But we're going to start this reading by really delving deep into the energy of this connection. My goal with this reading is to offer clarity as always, and hopefully paint a picture of what your person is going through. By connecting with their higher self, we're connecting to a higher frequency of their being, one that isn't distracted or limited by their physical vessel, their physical world. So their higher self's messages often come through in a very objective but clear way, and hopefully that can help paint a bigger picture of what is going on for this person. Now, as I mentioned in the intro, there will be an extended reading as well. In the extended reading, we're going to dive deeper into the energy between you by focusing on the future of this connection, having a look at what is shifting for you, for them, and between you in terms of the connecting energy. And then we're going to get advice for you and for them. I find that personally, when I do readings on people one-on-one, or even for myself, getting advice for that person can also help you figure out what's going on for them. Even though you may not be in contact and you may not really be sharing the advice with them, it can kind of help you see what they're going through. So hopefully that is helpful and useful info as well. That'll be in the extended reading. Let's get into it though, Group 1. I'm going to start by laying out your oracle cards. The first card we have for you is Protection. Cut the cord and call back your power. Soul Retrieval. We also have Starseed, What Lights You Up. And that message came back in another oracle card too, which I thought was interesting. We have Set Intentions, Plant the Seeds and Watch Them Grow. We also have I Am in Harmony with Nature. Okay. Then we have Fear, Waiting For by Rum Gold. Pause if you want to read the lyrics. Oh, okay. Excuse me, Saucy. Just got to pick that card up off the ground now. Oh no. I've slightly bent it. Whoopsie daisy. All right. We have another green card, Guilty Conscience by 070 Shake. Acceptance. Again, pause if you need more time to read. Wow. We have Cosmos. It's the only color card in this deck. And we also have Scintillation. Wow. I have a few things I want to channel for you, but I'm just going to get the guidebook for this deck as well, because there's always messages in that guidebook. I'm going to channel first person. I didn't know if I was. You're the first group that I've started filming, so I didn't know if I was going to do first person, but I think I do need to, especially for you. All right. So from their higher self, Spirit, What do they want to say to group one? I don't want to think anything bad. This new thing between us, it is daunting. And I feel as though a lot of the things that I hadn't dealt with, hadn't processed, and hadn't focused on are catching up on me now. My feelings for you are stirring insecurities and the connection to who I want to be, highlighting the deficits between that idealized version of myself and where I currently am. I'm filled with a lot of fear and a lot of guilt when I think of you. I'm honestly at a point where I personally believe it is best for us to focus on our individual lights. I find inspiration from this connection by way of you help me want to be a better person, but I can't help but feel like I'm dimming your light, and that as we try to figure this out between us, I almost feel like I'm taking away from some of that shine. I'm at a point where I am trying my best to set solid foundations, and this comes through setting intentions first, but it's really about seeing things through till the end and having the accountability, the responsibility to finish something that I've started. I can't help but feel like I'm the shadow in your light, and I don't want it to be that way. I don't want it to feel like we're not able to balance each other out and offer each other the same amount of shine, and I want to say reciprocity. I want to be able to support you, and I want you to feel like you can support me. It just feels like we're a little out of balance right now. My actions are a reflection of my fear and insecurities, and I have pulled back a little to figure out where to go from here, where to grow from here. I am feeling like I have a lot of karma to restore in my life in a good and bad way. I think I've just been at a point in my journey where I've kind of gotten complacent and used to things being still, but that's not where I'm going to be able to exist for much longer. I'm acknowledging that the tide is turning, and I feel like things are moving forward for me, for you, for us. I just don't know where this is headed to. I want to have a look at the book group one and figure out what's going on with this Cosmos card for your person. What words they want to share with you from that card. Total order, complete trust, and massive growth. I'm finding it so hard to trust that this process is going to work out for us. I just feel like things are so chaotic and disordered, and I'm struggling to figure out how we fit into each other's lives. I'm struggling to figure out how I can helpfully contribute to yours. And I want to acknowledge that there is disharmony between us right now. There is this feeling of needing to be more in harmony, and currently feeling like this process of growth is a process that I can't trust. It feels like it's growing us away from each other rather than together. I have this desire to protect you as well, and I can't do that if I'm always away from you. I miss your light. I miss the way that you light up the world, the room, the energy around you. I'm feeling like the intensity between us has really diminished. And usually I would see any interaction between us as an omen of today's going to be a good day. When it hasn't happened, when I don't see you, I just feel like things are out of balance. I just feel like things aren't going well for me. I need to be able to see you. I feel like I'm very dependent on your energy and almost seeking your attention for validation at the bare minimum. That's how I could describe it, but it's more than that. It's confirmation. It's you stabilize me. as intense as those interactions may be, it's a way for me to recharge, to feel more confident and to feel more ready. So when I don't see you in a while, it feels like I lose that balance, I lose that confidence, and I lose that stability. And I currently just feel so out of order, so imbalanced, so disordered, so dark. I do feel really guilty for where I've left things with you, and I've spent a lot of time thinking about what lights me up, and it is you. You are such a bright light in my world. I'm trying to regain that confidence to be able to restore the balance in this connection, but I can understand if you had to cut cords for your own peace. I understand if you've had to put up boundaries and call back your power for your own peace. I'm hearing that this person, sorry, I'm breaking out again. This is very miss and matched. I'm hearing that this person wishes you well. So I don't know where you guys have left things. I need to talk objectively now because I feel like a lot of you are going to pick group 1 for some reason. There's multiple scenarios playing out. This person isn't happy with where they left things with you. This feels like a separation group for sure, or at least someone who you haven't seen as regularly as you usually do. They may just be kind of bouncing in and out at this stage compared to being able to see you on a more routine basis. They are very afraid with the fact that they may have pushed you too far. And I feel like their higher self has a lot of explaining to do, but their 3D self is very much confused, hurt, afraid, and also just feeling very guilty. There's a strong feeling of guilt here. I don't know if anything really bad happened. That's going to be subjective to your individual experiences. But this guilty feeling is more of like neglect and abandonment and the feeling of like I should have been there for you and I wasn't. I also get a real protector energy from this person. I try to channel objectively. I try not to label. But this feels like a very masculine energy, someone who was under the assumption that if they were to take this connection seriously, they need to kind of step up into a provider protector role. And that it doesn't always mean financially providing, it can just mean security, presence, that energy of stability in how they contribute to your life, and that comes through clear actions and being present physically, as well as for some of you maybe they're talking about being a financial provider as well, of financial security in this connection. But I just feel like this person has had some time to disconnect from distractions, and they've been able to realize where they have failed in this situation. It either feels like for some of you the scenario is this is a connection that never got off the ground, or this is someone who promised you things and they never kind of came through with those promises. Otherwise, this also feels like someone who you've had a relationship with before, because there is already love in this situation, and maybe there was an ultimatum, or there was a feeling of like the passion starting to wane, and you both had to kind of chip in and prove that this was something that you still wanted. And I feel like this person didn't fight as much as they should have. They didn't offer as much energy to the situation as they should have. And so they kind of left you with the impression that they weren't as interested as they are. And I think it's only in separation. Yoda, It's only in separation that they've realized how much they want this, because this feels like someone who gets a lot from you. And there is this feeling of hindsight and retrospection. I feel like this person is literally, like all the imagery of stars and this person just looking up at the stars. They've spent time literally looking up at the stars and realizing like, dang, like this is what I want. But I can't help but feel this sense of like too little too late. I'm really just thinking they kind of dropped the ball there. I'm going to use my Halloween deck because we're coming into Halloween season. Let's get some tarot to clarify, what does their higher self want to say to group 1, please, Spirit? What does their higher self want to say to group one? We have Temperance reversed. Yeah, a lot of you are in separation. I dropped the ball, I'm hearing. I dropped the ball. I feel like I've made you wait too long. I should have been there. That's literally what guilty conscience is about. That song is actually in reference to cheating. Partners using cheating to get back at each other. You caught me, but I never caught... No, I caught you, but you never caught me. However, it feels more like this tit for tat business. This you pushed me and I pushed away feeling, you know? That's what it actually feels like. It's not so much the act itself in that song. It's more the energy, that push and pull, and someone feeling like they turned away instead of standing up and being ready to fight for this connection. Because it doesn't feel like the two of you had an argument. It feels like more almost an ultimatum. Although I did just see the 5 of Needles, which is the 5 of Swords. Somebody walked away when they should have fought. It was a win-lose situation, I feel, though. For some of you, this person had responsibilities that they had to follow through on, and they thought that they would have all of that in order by now, but it feels very karmic in nature. Whatever they're going through right now is a reflection of their behavior and how they focus on what they want instead of distracting themselves with things that they think they need. That's what it feels like. So whether this is going to work out between the two of you or not, this pattern of behavior is very much in their history. It's a karmic cycle of being distracted by what they think they need instead of focusing on what they want. And that's so bizarre because I just feel like, yeah, we're seeing the World card now coming out, closing out a massive karmic cycle. And the 3 of Potions, that's the 3 of Cups in this deck. It just feels like this person could have, would have, should have pushed more. And I don't think it's like a full ending. Like I'm really not energetically feeling like this could never continue. So I would be surprised if you're at a point where you've put up so many boundaries that you would never let this person back. I would be very surprised because this feels more so like you just have a lot more work to do now if you want this to work. Like they have to really make the effort is what it feels like. Their higher self is saying that they are eclipsing an old version of themselves and they're on the way to becoming someone new. A newer version, a more wiser version. I feel like they've learned something and their emotions are being highlighted here. So it feels like an emotional lesson of how to or what they should be focused on for their mental health or for their happiness. It feels like they were distracted by other people. Mostly friendships are being highlighted, but also like just that sort of fun scene of like drinking and just going out or surrounding yourself with a lot of acquaintances, but not really fostering close connections. That's what it kind of feels like. Doing things for the sake of maintaining appearances for some of you. We also have the 8 of Needles coming out reversed. This person is definitely gaining clarity on why they have felt so stuck and powerless. Is there anything else that this deck would like to tell group 1 from this person's higher self? Anything else you'd like to tell group 1? We have the King of Presents, yeah, that's the King of Pentacles. At the back of the deck, we have the Lovers card. So this person is literally like clear-minded right now. They are very clear-minded. They've come to a balanced agreement. Decision is probably the best word to say it. It's not so much a decision though, it's just talking about clarity. This person sees clearly now. They know what they want and they're going to be very clear through their actions about what they want. This person is going to prioritize things in their life. So this connection for some of you may not be top priority. I see that this person has other responsibilities as well. If you know they have children, their children are at the top of that list. If you know that they are in a high position at work, their job is at the top of their list. For some of you, this person is self-employed and needing to focus on their business. But for others of you, I just feel like this person has a lot of things that they need to rectify. I'm hearing they've been on a hiatus period. So they have to kind of go through this list of responsibility and accountability and start fixing some of the things that they have neglected. And this connection is one of them, but I feel that for most of you, it's not at the top of the list. So I just need you to be aware of that so that your expectations are realistic with this person. For some of you, there's a strong sense of them coming back. So maybe they've physically been away. But the main message I'm getting is that they are feeling like they need to restore all the disorder and chaos that their absence has caused. So their higher self is saying this person is feeling very impatient when it comes to the situation between the two of you. They are feeling like they need to kind of rush things into balance again. And because of that, they are needing to give themselves more time to figure out what they should do next here so that they don't come across as impulsive and so that they don't repeat past behavioral mistakes, in the sense of going back through that cycle of doing things that don't align with their intentions. This person has very clear intentions now, and again, their actions are going to reflect their priorities as well as the clarity that they have received. I feel like with the World card here, their higher self is saying that they are focusing on leveling up, and this is in a very material sense, but this also is an impact on their behaviors and what they prioritize. I do feel like for a lot of you, this person is trying to progress their career, either by growing and expanding a business that they own, or by gaining some sort of promotion or a higher role within their workplace. And they're very focused on managing that image to their employer. So they may have disconnected from this connection to focus more on being this sort of stable person in the eyes of their clients or their employer. I also think with the Three of Potions reverse, this person is missing you. I also think though that they are trying to limit distractions right now so that they can get their material affairs in order. And it's like, without making you feel bad or without kind of making you feel some type of way, the honest truth is this connection was a distraction for this person at some times. Tarot is also showing me that this person is trying not to lead you on, because I feel like they can't prioritize you as much as they would have liked to, and they may have already kind of bitten off more than they could chew with you. So if this person has become detached, it's because they're trying not to lead you on. I don't think they can offer much right now, and that's me being honest. With the Eight of Needles reversed, I do think that this person is trying to empower themselves, and mentally they've had a change in perspective to the point where they're seeing themselves as someone who is powerful again, someone who has a responsibility as well. That is what's coming through very strongly, especially with the King of Presents here. They're very much focused on self right now. And Tarot is telling us that this person is trying to stay focused on what they can do, which means that they're limiting their thoughts of being a victim and what they can't do and what is out of their control. They're trying to empower themselves to be more kind of self-focused, self-managed, and self-aware so that they can start seizing the things that they want. We might get some channeled messages from their 3D self now, just to help paint a better picture of what is happening here. So group 1, please, Spirit. What does this person's 3D self want to say to group 1? What does this person's 3D self want to say to group 1? What does this person's 3D self want to say to group 1? Yeah. I keep hearing that song, There Goes My Guilty Conscience. 5 a.m. when I walked in, could not believe what I saw you. For some of you, this person is under the impression that you have started entertaining other people in their absence and that you have put your energy towards other people. They're under the impression that you have equally chosen to walk away and call this a losing situation. This person is very insecure about the fact that you're entertaining other people. I'm in so much pain, do you even care? There is a strong feeling from their higher self of, is this actually actually what you want? Are you still as interested as you once were? Because they're feeling like the spark is going out. There's definitely a false start in this connection, a would have, could have, should have moment that caused stagnancy due to a lack of action and following through. Seven of Swords, I worry about us a lot. This person is feeling like you're keeping something from them as well. They are under the assumption that in their absence, you are entertaining somebody else. Two of Cups tells me they do feel a strong connection to you, but they're highlighting the emotional separation between the two of you. I feel like they are trying to distract themselves. I'm not going to lie. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. This person, for some of you, has seen something on your social media and it gave them the impression that you were seeing other people. That's not going to apply to all of you, but take it if it resonates. There's a strong feeling of seeing something here. Like I saw something. And I don't think it was clear. It literally just feels like, oh, this person liked your page, or that person commented on your photo, or whatever it was. This person's now following you, or whatever it is. It just feels like they're under the impression that you're entertaining other people. Trying to accept the truth. What kind of truth are they trying to accept? The Queen of Potions. There's this mixed feeling of realizing how much they care now, and also realizing that you are someone that has a lot to offer. And I think that the way that they've realized that is either by seeing you offer your love to others, like you starting to kind of really be this person of compassion and kindness, through the way that they've seen you interact with other people, or more so just realizing that they were the ones that were causing a lot of the issues in terms of their fears, holding this connection back. What else does this person want to say to group one? What does their 3D self want to say? Strong feeling of an epiphany moment though. Like, I realize now. I didn't see it back then, but I realize it now. What does this person want to say? Yeah, obviously. One more card, please. What does this person want to say to group one? Yeah, acceptance keeps shuffling through the deck. At the back, I'm seeing we're too different. We have I want you now. I don't care what they think. I'm afraid to let anyone get close. Solid foundation, that's that Emperor energy, that Tower in reverse energy, trying to create stability, trying to stabilize in general. And this card was on its side, so I'm taking both sides. I can't share you with anyone, and I'm a little jealous, but I trust you. So both messages here. Strong feelings of insecurity around you finding somebody else while they're gone, but there's also this strong feeling of them putting a lot of energy towards other things. I don't care what they think. It makes me think that another responsibility may have come between this connection, or vice versa. They could have felt like this connection was coming between their responsibilities to their job, to their workplace, to their children, whatever it was. It just feels like this person is trying to reprioritize and restructure their life to allow themselves to have more of a stable foundation, first of all, but also to be able to pursue the things that they actually want. And that means they have to figure out what they need as well. And I do think that this person's priorities have changed recently. They're very materially motivated, but it comes from a sense of I need this foundation, this stability, this security, wanting to be in a provider, protector role. I do think that they have some fears, but it's just that general feeling of needing to open up instead of run away. And I do think that in this situation, instead of opening up, somebody ran away. They chose to sort of swallow their feelings, hide it, and just play the game, run away. So we'll get some closing messages from which deck, Spirit? Oh, we're going to get advice. That's right. Let's get advice from this tarot deck. What is the closing advice for group one in this situation? What is the closing advice for group one in this situation? We have the moon coming out first. What is the closing advice for group 1? We have the Two of Stars, the Two of Pentacles in this deck. What is the advice? And we have the Emperor reversed. At the back of the deck, Four of Cups. Wow. How is it that you get the Four of Cups as advice? That's so bizarre. Sorry, my nose. I just had to. So we'll talk about that Four of Cups first. As advice, it feels like that Four of Cups is really like a moment for you. And I think that this reading found you at a time where you do have options, and this person isn't the only person that you could choose to have your happiness with. But I think that your individual situation is what is going to really help unpack the right advice for you. You need to spend time reflecting enough to be able to acknowledge how you feel about this person right now. And I'm not talking about, well, back then when the connection was first happening and what it was like when they were here. I think you need to sit with your current present feelings based on the current present situation between the two of you. And you need to figure out whether your feelings are present enough, strong enough to make you want to continue something with this person, because there is this strong feeling of whatever it is that you choose to do after this reading, group 1, make sure that you're not missing out on any opportunity to be happy by prioritizing something that was instead of something that could. Sorry, we were just cut off by my camera, but as I was saying, make sure that you're not missing out on something that could be by holding on to something that was, because it's really important that you prioritize what is making you happy presently and what is going to grow for you in the future. And if this person's actions are indicating they are not invested nor prioritizing this connection, you have to trust their actions, because their higher self was trying to warn us by saying that this person is very clear-minded right now. They know what they want, they have a list of priorities, and they're going through those priorities. If they are not prioritizing this connection, it is not on their list of priorities, which means that you should also be, in your own way, making your own list of emotional priorities and what you think you should be focusing on based on what is making you happy. The moon is telling you to really connect with your emotional being, because there does seem to be fears on your side as well. There seems to be concerns, fears of what could happen, whether this is a fear of intimacy that you both share, or whether this is more a fear of settling into the wrong thing and accidentally passing on the right thing. The thing about you, group 1, is I do feel like at the time that you're seeing this reading, you have many different roads that you could go down when it comes to relationships. And the right one feels like they have you at the top of the list. And I'm not just saying that to kind of be generic and like that's something that any person would in their logical mind tell you. But with the cards that I'm seeing, the Two of Stars tells me you're the one who will be choosing your partner. Your partner will have clearly chosen you. You are the one who decides. And I think you choose based on who is attentive, who is present, who is making you a priority with this Two of Stars, who is showing you that you are their chosen person, not just another person on the list. Whereas I feel like the person you choose is at the end of the day somebody who is on your list. It feels very much like you're attracting a confusing situation because you are projecting confusion as well with that moon. There is a feeling of you needing to be more clear about your feelings for the people around you, your fears, and also just how things aren't as exciting as they used to be. I'm not saying that the right person will be the one who really just woos you and your emotions are going to be crazy wild. It's more that I think when it comes to this person, some of you are holding on to what was instead of what is and what could be, because the only way we get to what could be is by investing in the present. And if this person isn't investing in the present, that means there is no what could be. It is simply what was. And with the Emperor reversed, there is a strong message here about action and intention. You only reap what you sow. And if that seed was planted, but it was never watered, it was never fertilized, we never came back and checked on it, it simply won't grow. So a lot of you, your advice is very much about staying grounded in your present moment, paying attention to who is paying attention to you, and being aware of the fact that you also need to get your priorities back in order, and you need to be prioritizing people who prioritize you, people who value you and put you at the utmost of importance. Not because this is about kind of having a monopoly over somebody's, attention. It's more about the fact that if you want a future with somebody, you will put them at the top of your priorities list while also managing your other responsibilities. And this person, I'm not lying. Like when I say they have priorities, I'm not talking about 1, 2, and 3. The list I saw was there are 10 things that this person is focusing on right now. And if you're not in that top 10, then sweets, I just don't think this is the person who you are meant to be focusing on right now. If they can focus on 10 things and you're not in those 10 things, they are not someone that you should be focusing on. This isn't a one-track minded person. This is someone who can multitask. And if they're not multitasking and reshuffling things to make room for you and this connection, then you should not be making room for them. With that 2 of Stars, I really think that you need to be realistic about the present situation, and you need to start focusing on what is focusing on you. So group 1, that is what I'm seeing for you in terms of your channeled messages reading. I am going to delve deeper into this energy now. We're going to get confirmation about the future of this connection. This will be our extended reading. We're going to have a look on at what is shifting between you, what is shifting for you specifically, for them specifically, and we're going to get advice on like what you should do, what they should do to help kind of paint the bigger picture. I think for this reading, I'm also going to have a look at, like in tarot, like what is the future, and then we're going to have a look at what is shifting for each of you as well. So if you do want to get further clarity and join me in the extended reading, the link is in the description box. The extended reading will be on my website. If you are an Amethyst Hermie member, you will have access to all the extended readings for today's video, as well as going back to February this year. So if you're not aware of what an Amethyst Hermie is, I recommend that you go and check that out. Otherwise, group 1, I just want to thank you for all of your support right here on YouTube. Thank you for joining me, for your time, your energy. These readings can sometimes be very brutally honest when we're channeling first person, so I hope that this was helpful and that it did clarify things for you as well. Trust yourself, know yourself. At the end of the day, this is a general reading, so take what resonates, don't let the rest take from you, and I hope to connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi group 2, and welcome to your reading. In today's video, we're going to be asking Spirit for channeled messages from your person's higher self. It's fairly in depth. I've got some pre-shuffled oracle cards here, which will get us started, and then I'm going to be clarifying messages with tarot. We'll just kind of see where we go with that. I don't have a specific plan. I'm just going to use tarot to clarify anything that we're not sure of. And then at the end, we're going to get advice for you on how you should move forward based on the information that you've gained from this reading. There will also be an extended reading group 2. In the extended reading, we're going to have a look at the future of this connection, what is shifting for you, for them, and we're going to get advice for you as well. Now, when it comes to this extended reading situation, I do just play it by ear. My advice is to get you clarity and to help you get, my goal, should I say, is to get you clarity and to help you connect with the best possible outcome. So if we need to redirect the attention to somebody new or to somebody different, we will. But the goal is to just see where the future of this connection is headed first before we really tap into the best possible outcome in love for you. So with that being said, let's get into it, sweets. I'm gonna try to lay out your oracle cards in a somewhat aesthetic fashion. Starting with your first card, we have I am centered, peaceful, patient, and calm. Interesting. Growth, overcoming limitations. Okay. We also have trust your path. If you knew you would be supported, what would you do? We have sidereal space. Tidal force in the reverse position. And from my deck, we have Hot Tub Dream Machine by Toby Lou, the healer card. And we have fear, waiting for rum gold. And feel free to pause on the lyrics cards if you want to read them. Wow, so a lot of love coming through. I just want to channel first person first, and then we'll clarify the messages as we go on. I miss you so much, and I feel the connection between us growing currently as well. To be honest, it feels like it's hard to get away from you, even if I am physically away from you. I feel like everything that has happened has led to this point in which it's time for us to see where this connection can really grow and how we can turn it into something that blossoms. I'm honestly excited by this chance and this change and the possibilities of where this could lead. I feel very grateful that I've started this journey with you and that we've been able to come together in this way. But I am more excited to see where everything goes with you. It feels like at this point in our journeys, or at least in my journey, all roads are leading to you. And I can't help but feel like I had to go through what I went through in order to get to this moment with you. I am a little bit nervous, but at the same time, I'm trusting that everything is going to work out in the right way. Please know that if we aren't on the best of terms right now, it is my intention to fix that. It is my intention to try to heal and grow forward with you. I'm trying to trust the unknown as well and working with what I do know to get things on the right track with you. I may not have been as forthcoming with all of this in terms of my thoughts and my feelings, but I do intend on coming clean when I can with you. It's getting increasingly difficult to withhold my feelings for you and the truth of my feelings for you. I've found myself talking about you to other people and trying to open up where I can just to help me get more familiar with what's going on inside. And I do intend on sharing this with you as well if I haven't already. There's a lot that I am still processing, but I find that the more time that I have to do that alone or with people around me, the more confident I am in how this is all growing positively. I really do feel like the changes we're going through right now are transitioning into better times. And I really do feel like things are going to improve for us. I've been trying to manage my own energy in terms of I've been trying to manage my own fear. I've been trying to manage my own frustrations, my own impatience, my own shadows, shall I say, things that I feel could negatively impact the positive growth of our future. And for that reason, I may have withdrawn and I may have withheld what I'm really going through in order to stay in control of what I'm needing to process. I've been trying to stay centered, peaceful, patient, and calm. I've been trying to trust. I've been trying to heal, and I've been trying to overcome my fear. There is a lot of unknowns here in both a exciting way and in somewhat of a terrifying way as well. I'm at a point where I'm ready to take a leap of faith in this connection. I'm ready to see what the future holds for us, and I'm really excited about where things could be. I'm at the point where I want to open up to you, and I want to share more with you, and I want to confess more to you in terms of what I'm really feeling and what I hope this connection can turn into. I feel the energy we've invested has shown positive signs already, at least on my end. I'm getting very ready to kind of be more invested and really show you that I'm wanting this to grow more as well. I do think that this may come as a surprise to you. You may not be expecting my commitment in this way. You may not be expecting my excitement, my determination to progress this in this way. And you may even doubt that I'm as serious as I am, but I do plan on showing that to you, and I do plan on being more present, more of like a stable part of your life and someone that you can trust through their actions. I do hope to come back and fix everything that isn't right between us. And I hope that you can find it in your heart to forgive and help move this connection forward as well to where it deserves to be. I'm sorry to cut your messages there, group 2, but I want to clarify these 2 cards in the Oracle deck because I feel like there's something there that I wasn't going to pick up intuitively that this person really wants to say to you. Excuse my nose, I have to wipe it again. Okay, so let's have a look at tidal force first, please, Spirit. Tidal force, duality, wow. The sun and the moon, the coming and going, ascent and descent caused by gravitational forces exerted by the sun and moon onto earth. The sea is like you, violent, restless, indecisive, peaceful, calm, and stable, depending on the day, depending on who it talks to. Swings that make you sleep, swings that make you dizzy. The sea is like us, jewel on the sand. The way it turns, sometimes it makes me think. There is nothing more than the tidal force acting on the sea. So I feel with that card reverse, there is this feeling of imbalance right now, and there is this strong feeling of needing to bring more harmony. I do see duality in this connection. I see a lot of positivity. I see a lot of love with these heart chakra cards. I do see fear though, and I see regret. This person feels like they have made some mistakes, and this connection has not progressed as smoothly as it could. That's probably why you're here, watching this tarot reading instead of talking to them. But I do think that they have every intention on trying to fix things between the 2 of you, whatever that means for you. For some of you, it's as simple as showing up more, being more present, like they were saying, being more stable, and through their actions showing you that they mean what they say. For others of you, there may need to be an apology and forgiveness in order to move forward. But for all of you, I see this person genuinely desiring growth, genuinely trying to center themselves, ground themselves, and gain enough stability within self to be able to offer that with you as well. Now, I do see them trying to kind of play it safe until they need to take that leap of faith that they want to. Excuse me, my nose is getting blocked randomly. It's really annoying. But let's talk about this sidereal space card. My nose is being so annoying. All right, so this card says, first of all, it's activated by the 333 portal. And I personally just saw that recently. I think one of my posts got 333 likes. So very interesting. We have outside of you, outside of your control. Sidereal space is outside of the atmosphere of our planet and beyond our reach. We cannot control everything. Yeah, and that kept coming up in your channeled messages. They feel like they had to disconnect from the unknown, what they couldn't control, because they were trying to just focus on what was in front of them. I am picking up on frustration for some of you. Your person is very frustrated by the fact that there are things that they cannot work with. It almost feels like something is working against them here. For some of you, it's timing. Feeling frustrated because it feels like the timing of the situation is working against them. But for others of you, it feels more like they're frustrated by how the circumstances are unfolding presently. There is something out of their control. It could be distance for some of you. It could be misaligned schedules, you working at this time, them working at that time, you needing to prioritize this, them wanting to prioritize that. But they just feel like there is something that is out of their control. Sidereal means belonging to the stars or planets, but the word suggests vastness, the space word. As we humans become aware of everything that the cosmos represents, the sidereal term develops a greater thought pattern. Interesting. I just feel like this person has definitely spent time thinking a lot about this connection, about what has happened, what has transpired previously, and where things are headed currently as well. I want to move forward now. I want to get tarot, and we are going to get channeled messages before we get advice as well, but I just want to clarify, what else does their higher self want to say to you? Oh, really? Okay. I'm going to use the Halloween or a tarot deck instead. Oops. For group 2, please, Spirit. What else does their higher self want to say? What does this person's higher self want to say to group 2? What does this person's higher self? We have the Knight of Presents. I'm hearing I'm trying my hardest to come the right way towards you. This person is giving me perfectionist energy, so they may have taken their time. They're wanting to get their ducks in a row, and they want to make sure that they have done something right before they come towards you. What does this person, what does their higher self want to say? Yeah, we have the Eight of Potions reversed. I am coming back to you. I was channeling the Lana Del Rey song. What is it called? But it's that first lyric. Feet don't fail me now. Take me to the finish line. Oh, my heart, it aches every step that I take. But I'm hoping at the gates they'll tell me that you're mine. Interesting. This person is very nervous about coming back. We have the King of Potions reversed, the Three of Needles reversed. Their higher self is saying that they have spent a lot of time processing things, healing, thinking, reflecting, taking accountability as well. This person may have needed to take accountability for the way that they treated you. And whether you think you were mistreated or not, I just feel like they didn't handle themselves well enough. Excuse me. They just feel like they didn't handle themselves well enough. There's this feeling here of, I should have done this, I could have done this. I didn't have to make it like this. But some of you, they didn't need, they could have handled it better. Like, it didn't have to be this hard, or they shouldn't have left things to the point where they now feel like they have to fix things. That's what it feels like. It's going to vary for each and every one of you, but for some of you, this person gave you the impression that they weren't as interested, or they weren't wanting to work on things, or their feelings weren't. Some of you may have felt like they were choosing somebody else over you or something else over you. And I just think that it feels like their priorities were elsewhere. I'm seeing a lot of feelings here, though, a lot of feelings. And this person needing to understand more about how they were genuinely feeling with this King of Potions reversed, almost to the point where they may have underestimated how strongly they feel for you. They may have also underestimated how much they were withholding from you, which could have led to confusion and stagnancy in this connection, because they were under the impression that it was obvious, or that, at least in the thick of it, they weren't the problem. And I think that they've had time to reflect and reconsider those facts, and just how much they may have caused problems here. But I am seeing healing. I am seeing the need to have a difficult conversation with you about their feelings, about their fears, and about their choices in the past. And their choices may have been as simple as, like, I should have told you this sooner, but I chose not to because of this. Or I should have come towards you sooner. I should have tried harder. I should have done this. I should have, should have. But this is why. It feels like they're trying to explain something that caused separation here, because I see them coming back to you with the Eight of Potions reversed, because they are determined to try to get their Ten of Cups with you. That's the only reason we come back to an Eight of Potions, is because we've had our hiatus period, we've done what we needed to do, and now we believe we can get our Ten of Cups if we try to stay, or if we try harder to cultivate something. We have the Three of Candles. So 3 is very significant in your group. And we also have the Empress. I see them trying to really be responsible and reliable. I also see them manifesting you, but it feels like there's this yearning energy with the Three of Candles waiting for you. Their 3D self is really reaching out to you, sweets, like manifesting opportunities with you. This person will pop up in your life in the way of either by physically being where you used to see them, or by manifesting the opportunity to run into you by chance. There is this feeling of waiting though. I see that their 3D self is waiting for the right time and really trying to yearning and manifesting in that space. I see with the Empress reverse, there are questions around where your visions for the future are, how you have been growing without them, and what kind of seeds you've planted since then. So for most of you, there has been some form of disconnect, enough where this person is questioning what it is that you want and how you plan on growing for yourself, let alone with them. This person is feeling either like they need to find out how they fit into your life and your plans, or they just need to figure out what your plans are like right now. On a practical level, there's confusion around how they fit into your world and what you have created for yourself. Because with the Empress showing up, there is this feeling of you having other responsibilities or other opportunities outside of this connection, which could include parenting for some of you and needing to be focused on your children. Otherwise, it feels like there's other forms of growth that you experience outside of this connection, and this person trying to figure out how they fit into that world. What else do they want to say to group 2? Four of Presents. I'm not ready to let go. That's the Four of Pentacles. I see this person may be very self-conscious of their material possessions, either their income or how much they have to offer you. There is this question around lifestyles and how to physically make things work with you. But there's also this feeling of not wanting to lose you to something else more flashy, more expensive, more available. I see this person trying to really hold on to you, sweets. That Four of Pentacles feels like insecurities about finances though, or income as well. I don't know if they're struggling. I just don't know if they have as much as they would like to, because that Knight of Presents at the start of your reading was talking about someone who is trying to present a certain way and get everything in order, almost like a perfectionist, right? Like somebody who needs to make sure that they are giving you the best version of themselves or the best possible opportunity to be with them. And this Four of Pentacles is telling me that that's coming from a place of insecurity, of I don't have enough yet. At the back of the deck, we have the Nine of Presents. So this person compares themselves to you a lot. And whether you consider yourself to be successful or wealthy or not, they're more comparing themselves to this idealized version of you. This version of you that is very much perfect in their mind. You're very well put together. You have your own security, your own independence. You're stable. You're secure. There's this constant reminder of money though in this group, so take it if it resonates. Obviously there's only 3 groups and thousands of people watching, so take it how it resonates, but they get this impression that you are very self-made, very wealthy, or just very fortunate. And I just don't, either they don't know enough about you to know how they fit into that lifestyle with you, or they're really projecting an idealized version of you in their mind. It's almost coming across as dependent as well. Like, I would question why they're so obsessed with the finances. Like, where is it coming from? The Knight of Candles. This person is a passionate person who craves experience. And I think that with you, if you are financially secure, they're aware of the fact that they could have a lot of experiences with you. I wouldn't say that they have a bougie finger, but they are someone who always wanted to be successful, who always wanted to be somewhat wealthy, self-made. They're someone who always wanted to have their own business, I feel, if they don't already. You guys connect through that though. If they're bougie, you're bougie. You know, like if they like to travel, you like to travel. Like there's this dual energy here of you two being similar in that way. If you like shiny things, they like shiny things. So take that as it resonates. Either it's the traveling, it's the affluent lifestyle, it's the shiny things. And that's the thing, like you could be a little bit of both. Like, I don't know, to use myself as an example, I like to collect things that I find like at beaches and at rivers. But the first thing I did when I got my first home to myself was spend like way too much money on crystals. You know, I like my shiny crystals as well as my pieces of dead coral and shiny, or not even shiny, just rocks. I love my rocks, but I also love my shiny crystals. So that may be this sort of juxtaposition that you two share, or there is something here about money and experiences that is shared. You both either wanting to travel, or you both wanting to kind of build this legacy of wealth in your lifetimes. And I see this person wanting to be a part of that. That's the thing that I'm picking up on. They don't want to be dependent on you. For most of you, this person feels like they're trying to figure out how they can build with you, how they can create more with you. It's not about taking what you've made for yourself. It feels very much like, how can I add to that? How can I build more on top of that type of feeling? So let's get some channeled message cards now, starting with this Law of Polarity deck by Ruby Roman. Beautiful deck. What does this person's 3D self want to say to group 2? Now that we've established energy from their higher self, what does their 3D self want to say to group 2? Wow. Wow. Yeah. I know that I am worthy of love. Shaky ground. Yeah, there's something between the two of you that is not stable right now. Very much needing to rectify that situation, or at least get on the same page as the other. Again, having that conversation about choices in the past in order to heal the connection and move forward. The truth hurts, so I lie to myself. Interesting. What are they lying to themselves about? We'll clarify that with my deck. I worry about what they think. So their 3D self has reservations around this coming and going energy that they've exhibited with you. There's fear about what other people in your life may think of them. And there's also fears around, like, if this doesn't work out, what are the people around them going to say about them? I intuitively am picking up that they're trying not to put too much pressure on themselves in terms of approaching you and fixing this, because there is this feeling of trying to save face, right? Trying not to feel completely disheartened if you reject them. What else do they want to say? What does their 3D self want to say? Dependable. Yeah, I really feel them trying to be more of a dependable, stable force in your life. I just think that the way that they have interacted with you in the past is making this energy feel skeptical. Like it's going to take a lot of serious action to kind of create the stability that you would need to see them as a dependable person. What else? We have, I'm too overwhelmed to move. So their 3D self is still struggling with that fear, with that unknown, and geez, everything is out of my control. So what am I supposed to do? I do think that there is an element of something being out of this person's control that is really causing delays and genuine fear. At the back of the deck, we have I want you now. So I do see them really grappling with this fear and trying to kind of get on top of it. What else does this person want to say to group 2, Spirit? Can we clarify that card? The truth hurts, so I lie to myself. What is that card about, Spirit? For group 2 from their 3D self. Wow. Yeah. I don't want to lose you. And I think we should slow down. These are 2 Pentacles cards, the 4 of Pentacles and the 7 of Pentacles. So the truth hurts, so I lie to myself. This is a reflection about the choices that they've made previously, what they chose to prioritize, and how they didn't prioritize you. They didn't prioritize this connection. I also see with this 4 of Pentacles, there is that stubborn energy again of someone who is wanting more but is afraid of losing what they already have. And so they're kind of in a safety net right now, a comfort zone of just kind of waiting to see where the current energy takes them. I see them being very frustrated though. Again, I don't want to lose what I currently have. So even though they're not gaining much presently, this safety net is still keeping them in this comfortable area of like, maybe I don't need to do anything yet. The truth hurts, so I lie to myself about what I can do to change the present situation. The 7 of Pentacles, I'm frustrated, but I don't want to lose what I already have, so I'm in this comfort zone. What does their 3D self want to say to group 2, Spirit? We have time to ground yourself. Yeah, they have been spending a lot of time creating that stability we picked up on. And just trying to stay centered, peaceful, patient, and calm. We have the 9 of Swords reversed. So they realized something about you, about this connection after the fact. An epiphany moment that caused sorrow. You hurt me, but that's okay, I guess. Honestly, when that card's reversed, it feels like this person realizes how they have hurt you, how their actions or their communication or lack thereof has caused hurt. And I think that this was a painful realization that, again, hurts, and so they may lie to themselves at times about that truth. But it's definitely an epiphany moment that has happened after the fact, to the point where like, what can I do about it now? Like, I can't change it, but it still hurts. Interesting. What does their 3D self want to say to group 2, please, Spirit? I'm hearing that Charmed theme song. Sorry, we were cut off by my camera, but I was hearing that Charmed theme song. Specifically that line right before the credits end, or should I say the intro ends, and he says something like, I am human and I deserve to be loved just like anybody else does. Interesting. So this person may struggle with self-worth, which is why they're saying, I know that I'm worthy of love now. The 2 of you may have spent a lot of time, especially this person, comparing yourself to the other, and just like wondering, like, are we a match? Are we compatible? Do we fit? Do we make sense? Big question marks. I hope you'll wait for me, because I feel like their 3D self is saying, like, I've made you wait a long time. Like, I have put you through it. I have really put you through it. Words do hurt. They really are thinking a lot about your previous interactions. And processing that accountability on either side. Like, what do I need to be accountable for? What should I hold them accountable for? I think that there is something that you said either to them or around them that really resonates. For some of you who don't have a very established connection with this person, they've been listening to what you say to other people. And there was something that you said around them that has really struck a chord with them. What does this person want to say? What does their 3D self want to say to group 2? What struck a chord with them? What was that? What struck a chord, Spirit? What was that conversation about? What struck a chord? Thank you. You were setting the bar of expectations. You were setting the bar. You were like, you know what? This is what I expect. This is what I need. This is what I'm currently seeking. And I think that they saw the bar as being very high. They saw the bar as, you know what, if I want to do that, like, I need to build myself up. I need to be ready. I need to be strong. I need to be courageous. And I need to make sure that I look my best. So for some of you, their 3D self is telling you in these cards that they are ready for that. But for a lot of you, their 3D self is recognizing that moving this connection forwards means taking a leap of faith, having courage, being serious, and offering a tangible Ace of Pentacles opportunity. I don't know if they're 100% ready, but I see them trying to get themselves ready so that whenever the chance, I want to say the timing and the chance kind of aligns, because for some of you, there is a distance that is causing delays. There is a separation that is causing delays. And we know that all of these things aren't technically problems. They aren't technically really delays. They happen as they are meant to happen, but it just feels like it doesn't align with this person's expectations presently. They're wanting that opportunity to not only come back, but to fix things and to kind of pick up where you left off. Acknowledging that their actions in the past have caused certain things to change, but hoping that the feelings are still there. So let's get some closing advice for you, group 2. What is the advice for group 2 on how they should act based on this information that they have received in this reading? What is the advice for group 2, please, Spirit? What is the advice for group 2? Okay, group 2. We have the Strength card. Your first card of advice is one of courage, compassion, patience, and also strength. To be honest with you, there is this feeling of coming back around with this person. The Strength card has that infinity symbol, which makes me think that there will be ups and downs. But I do think that this is the kind of connection that does come back around. And for some of you, you're already in a relationship with this person. You're just experiencing a down moment. I do see it picking back up. I just think that the biggest confirmation that this is someone worth continuing a connection with is that they are willing, able, and ready to contribute as much as you are. They are going to keep trying. That's how you will know if this is someone that is worth investing in. They're going to keep trying. It's not just going to be you going around this up and down roller coaster by yourself. This person will be there with you, holding your hand and trying. What is the advice for group 2, Spirit? We have the Page of Wands. So I do think that, and underneath that was the Queen of Wands. I do think that this connection needs more interactions. You two need to kind of spend more time bringing back either excitement or passion. But there is this feeling with the Page of Wands with like optimism, and let's just see where this goes. As advice, that card is talking about cultivating your passion and taking the road that is exciting to you, the one that garners interest and excitement. And I think that a door is opening with this person that also coincides with something that you've been manifesting for yourself, which could include travel. But it feels like your energy is invested in what they are offering you anyway. And they just seem to be ticking a box that you've set for yourself when it comes to your manifestation. So I feel like your advice here with the Page of Wands is to keep cultivating your interest, your excitement, your passion, your manifestations, and to move forward on the path that genuinely garners excitement. I'm also seeing pleasure here. I'm seeing a lot of passionate interactions with this person, but it feels like we're moving down a road together. There's a pathway that's opening up because of this person's energy being reinvested. So what else can you say to group 2, Spirit? What is their closing advice? The 10 of Stars and the 4 of Cups reversed. There is a strong feeling here of not missing out on something. And I think that's because of this person's risk, what they are choosing to do with that Fool card. The 10 of Stars is talking about you having the chance to set some sort of record straight with them. The 7 of Crystals reversed, that's the 7 of Swords. So I feel like a conversation does need to be had with them. Your advice is to stay true to whatever it is that you were wanting. I feel there is a desire for long-term commitment at the very least, but maybe even stability for the sake of starting a family or cultivating some sort of legacy together, growing something together. This is someone who is ready to grow. They are ready to be more of the stable, dependable person that you need in order to start thinking about laying down some serious roots, whether that means creating stability for children that are already in the picture or potentially having your own. This 10 of Stars is legacy energy. It talks about the big house, the big family, you know, all the animals and pets over the years, that feeling of leaving an imprint with your union, something that the next generation can also be a part of. So it's pretty long-term energy. And I guess your advice with that card is to stay focused on that if that is your intention, to stay true to that if that is your expectation, but to also consider that if you haven't yet, where is the road taking you? What does your future love life look like for you? And having those conversations with this person, because I see them really being at the forefront of your mind when you think about the future. And that's mostly because for a lot of you, they're going to make themselves be at the forefront of your mind. They're going to be there, making sure that you know that that's what they want as well, that they are ready to grow as well. So that's what I'm seeing for you, group 2, when it comes to channeled messages from your person's higher self and their 3D self and how you should move forward with this information. I'm going to take this reading into the extended now, where we will have a look at the future of this connection. If you're interested in joining me in the extended reading, the link is in the description box. The extended reading is on my website, so by clicking on that link, it'll take you to my website and I shall see you there. Otherwise, wherever you're going, thank you so much for all of your support, your time, your energy. I hope that this reading was helpful and that it did offer you the clarity and the information that you need to move forward, making informed decisions in your journey. It's been a pleasure to read for you, group 2, and I shall connect with you in another video. Bye! Hi, group 3, and welcome to your reading. We are asking Spirit today for channeled messages from your person's higher self. As you can see, I have pre-shuffled some oracle cards for us, which I will be channeling first person. I'm not too sure how long that portion will last. It really just depends on the amount of messages I can pull for your group. But I do offer an objective version afterwards in which I will dissect some of the information that I pulled first person. We're also going to be getting some tarot to have a look at what their higher self self wants to say to you. I'm going to get some channeled messages cards as well, and then we're going to close your reading with advice. Now, there will also, be an extended reading today where we will look at the future of your connection with this person, having a look at what is shifting in terms of like what is changing for you, what is changing for them, and then we're going to get advice for you both as well. So let's have a look at your oracle cards. We have, I am a vibrational match to all that I desire. Interesting. Remember who you are. Return to the roots. Interesting. This is very profound. I feel their higher self giving you like a cautionary message here. We also have counsel of light, divine orchestration, helpers in the subtle realms. Yeah, their higher self is definitely trying to warn you about something or guide you through something that you're experiencing right now. We have eclipse as well, and expansion. So I do feel like this group is going through some sort of change, and I think that you're very connected to the 4D, 5D. You're very connected to the spiritual realm. You're very connected to what seems to be your higher purpose. And I did intend for this to be a love reading, but when we're channeling higher selves, when we're channeling that higher energy, that collective consciousness, we are almost ascending that very sort of basic foundation of love. And I do feel like for this group, there is something more that this person's higher self wants to tell you that is outside of love. So let's have a look at your other messages. Oh my days. Are you serious? I got these exact cards for another group. I got these exact cards for another group. I'm going to shuffle them back in because there's no way. There's no way. I shuffled the whole deck, but we're just going to shuffle it again, just in case. For group 3, please, Spirit. That's crazy. What does their person's higher self want to say to them? Group 3. We have I Like When It Rains by Willis Boredom. And we also have Quits by Flume featuring Rio Cragen. Anger. At the back of the deck, we have See You Girl, Appreciation by Steve Lacy. Steve Lacy is popping at the moment. He's got a few songs that are trending. A very talented artist. So let me just tune in. Let's tune in and let's see what this person's higher self wants to say to you, sweets. Please know that from an energetic standpoint, I have so much unconditional love and support for you. I'm really trying to do what I think is best for you, which means that at times I have to let go of my attachment to you, and I have to assure myself that you are someone who deserves the best, just as I know I am as well. I'm at a point where I'm trying to be a part of your journey without being a hindrance or distraction from what it is that you deserve most. I feel like we're both growing apart, and I know from a higher point of view that you are expanding into an area of your life that will eclipse where we both started. I hope that you will remember me and consider checking in with me as you ascend, but I feel that our paths are forking rather than moving parallel. I feel a strong connection to you right now. And it could be that part of me is really holding on to us, but I also feel like it's just exciting to see how you are growing, how you are developing, and who you are becoming. I genuinely see you becoming an insane version of the person who I originally met. And I feel like the goal of all of this is for you to be able to inspire others and help lift others up, whether that includes me or not. Please know that your higher purpose means you should not ever feel alone. You are someone who is destined for divine connection through many different relationships and people. I see that at times it feels challenging, the sacrifices and the effort that you have to make to get to where you know you deserve to be. But I firmly believe like you are attracting the right people towards you. And from this side of the fence, you have so much support. You have so much connection. I'm acknowledging now how I have handled our situation immaturely in the past. I should have given you more. I should have shown you more. I should have shown more interest in what you're interested in, because I too find that fascinating, and I feel like I will eventually catch up to you, just maybe not at your pace. I'm longing for more deep conversations with you. They help me understand your perspective and where you're coming from, but I also just want to know what you see that I don't. I feel like your energy has become so light lately. Whether you feel like that or not, I just see you transcending all the chaos that I seem to be swimming in. It feels like you are becoming the type of you that I saw you as being in the beginning. I feel you blossoming in a way where I kind of secretly hoped you never truly saw yourself that way, because now it feels like you shine so brightly in comparison to me. I get a lot of inspiration from you, and I'm experiencing a lot of frustration as well, but from a higher perspective, I'm trying to manage my emotions, and I'm trying to not be a destructive part of your life. I'm trying to make sure that I don't hold you back and that I don't distract you from what you deserve. I am a representation of where you've come from and of how you have grown. And I feel the more you keep growing, the less attached to me you may be, for better or for worse. This connection is destined to expand further, but I feel it coinciding with other forms of expansion that are happening in your life as well. I'm uncertain of how this is going to play out, because it is very dependent upon your energy, your attention, and your focus. In many ways, we are very similar, but at the same time, we grow differently. And as you grow up, I feel like I've taken a little tangent to the side, and it may take me a little while to catch up to you. I'm hearing another message, group 3. I'm going to cut the first person messages there because I'm hearing a message of a total eclipse of the heart. And I feel this in a different way. Like, I don't know if this is in line with the message of the song by Bonnie Tyler, but I feel like this person is going to go through, you two will both go through moments where, excuse me, my nose is just running a little bit. When I channel, it does that. You're going to go through your stages where at times you will feel very connected and at times you will feel very disconnected. Like, this could be an off and on relationship, or this could be a relationship that has a few moments where you're apart and then you're back together. There's something very kindred about your spirit, but at this specific moment in time, it feels like you are eclipsing this person. They feel like one of you has outgrown the other, and they feel a strong connection to your past and a strong connection to your aspirations. A time in your life when you had big dreams, but you didn't have a lot to show for it physically, tangibly, let's argue. And so I feel like this person is really emphasizing the fact that you two have a lot of history or a past life connection in some way, but the future is so unknown. Even from a higher perspective, the other groups were able to kind of ascertain like where this is going based on their person's higher view, but higher self. But this person's higher self is really indicating the fact that you both have a very strong sense of free will, and you're not contracted to play out something with each other in this lifetime in a romantic way. I feel like you're always destined to cross paths with this kind of person, but I just feel like their higher self is saying you attract what you are. Remember who you are. You're a vibrational match to all that you desire. This connection may have gotten stagnant, and it may have also incited feelings of frustration and anger, because there is a feeling of someone losing interest or losing passion to the point where it's not that the connection isn't there anymore. It's just that the focus is elsewhere. That's what they were saying. And I feel like they are being guided to give you space, if that makes sense. Like, this person is being told that whatever will be, you know, so give group 3 space. Which is why they may have been very detached recently. I feel like this is a connection that may go through different stages as well, where you may start off as romantic interests and then you turn into friends, and then you turn into acquaintances, and then you rekindle that fire and you're back in as lovers, you know, like it's that kind of connection where it has its moments. And for that reason, it could even be some sort of very significant soulmate / twin flame divine counterpart connection where you always feel somehow connected to this person, but it just varies in intensity. I see this person trying to be respectful in the 3D, trying to not step on your toes, just trying to be very respectful and very kind of like, I'm just giving group 3 as much space as they need. I'm going to get some tarot now. Spirit, for group 3, what does this person's higher self want to say to them? We have, actually no, we're going to keep shuffling. I don't feel like that's your card. What does group 3's higher self want to say to them? What does group 3's higher self want to say to them? We'll take this one, we'll take that one, we'll take that one. What does group 3's higher self want to say to them? Yeah, this person does miss you. Their energy is longing for you. Whether their 3D self is conscious of that or not, you two are very intertwined in energy and very supportive from that higher realm as well. Like, your higher self helps them, their higher self helps you. This feels like a very significant connection. I just think that there are times where you are physically separated. That won't apply to all of you, obviously. You come here with your different backgrounds naturally, but I just feel like there's a strong feeling of growing apart. We have the Knight of Needles at the back of the deck reversed. So needles are swords. We have the 5 of Needles. The Tower reversed. The Emperor. A lot of Mars, Aries energy, Scorpio energy. Queen of Needles. The World. And the 3 of Candles. So candles are wands. Their higher self is really yearning for your energy because they're at a point where they're at a crossroads too. I see this person trying to turn their life around in some way, and they're doing it because they feel like they need to change their behavior and mature. This person is feeling like they need to mature. Something may have happened between the two of you or in this person's life where it forced them excuse me. I feel like I'm always coughing and wiping my nose in these videos. I'm so sorry. But they feel like they needed to kind of turn their life around. And I see that they're hitting a point where they recognize that forcing things to happen wouldn't be helpful. They don't want to rush into something. They don't want to force something to happen between the two of you. But I'm also seeing with the Knight of Needles reversed that they are also not wanting to kind of disconnect completely. And so there is this feeling of keeping some sort of cord attached to you. Like I'm seeing an umbilical cord, but it's more like a finger on the pulse. I see that this person keeps tabs on you either through the communication of other people or through some sort of connection that you both share with somebody else, or it could even be social media, but it feels more like word of mouth. I feel like this person keeps tabs on you because there's a strong feeling of just trying to check in and stay connected. I feel like this person gets a lot of inspiration from you. You seem to be this person's muse, but there is a clear sign in the cards of something happening recently, and that can be measured through your history. If you've known this person for many years, recently could have been within the last 6 months, within the last 12 months. If you've been interacting with them frequently, recently could have happened in your last 3 interactions. But there was something that happened that caused the other person to feel hurt by actions or words. With this 5 of Needles, someone walked away and licked their wounds, feeling like they lost in this battle, feeling like this situation caused them pain and like they needed to change the dynamics and give themselves a break for a little while. Somebody walked away and they felt like they had suffered some sort of damage from the conversation or the interaction. I'm literally hearing, I had to lick my wounds. So I feel like with the Tower reversed, they are still recovering from this moment, whether you were the one that walked away or they were, or you were the one that was licking your wounds or they were. There is still this feeling of we're not on stable grounds right now. We're not in stable terms. And I think that this person is acknowledging a lot of unhelpful, destructive moments in your history with them that have contributed to a very unstable, unclear dynamic now. I see this Tower reversed as someone sitting in the rubble of their destruction and literally being confronted by the consequences of their actions. And I think with the Emperor following that, there is a feeling of their higher self acknowledging that they need to start taking accountability. They need to start stepping up and they need to start seeing themselves as the person that they actually are, whether that is the fact that they are chronologically getting older, or whether that's the fact that they've recently received more responsibility by becoming a parent for the first time, or by being in a position of power now. There's a strong feeling of I need to start being accountable and responsible and taking control. And so I feel like this person is trying to be respectful amidst all of that, of whatever they have done to you in the past. And for that reason, they may be appearing very stoic, very cold in some ways, or at least like someone who isn't the way that they used to be. Excuse me, Yoda, no. And because of that, this takes us into our Queen of Needles energy, where I can see this person trying to really get a better view of the situation. I feel like they are also seeing you in this energy, but I don't think that's actually accurate. Like, what I'm picking up on is their higher self is saying they're trying to get a bird's eye view of the situation. They're trying to look at both sides objectively, and they're trying to see where you're at versus where they're at. There is a strong feeling of really processing things and looking at things from a higher standpoint to the point where they can understand both sides of the coin. This person feels like now is not a time for action. Now is a time for damage control and just trying to get stability back and trying to get trust back as well. I feel like this person is trying to earn your trust. They're not trying to make any grand gestures. They're not trying to, Yoda, They're not trying to, expect too much. They're not trying to put you in a position where you should expect more than what they can give right now. They just feel like they are trying to just deal with where the situation is with you. Excuse me, I need to get my dog. Okay, so as I was saying, trying to be respectful, trying to be in damage control, trying to maintain distance, trying to get a higher view of where you're at currently. And I do feel like they are still keeping an eye on you and the situation, but from a distance. With the World card here, I definitely see like this person is seeing how they are coming into the opportunity to kind of figure out where things are going. Like I almost feel like a culmination or something coming to a head. Some of you may be in a situation where you're seeing this person again after a lot of time has passed. And they're trying to plan like what they're going to say and how the situation, excuse me, is going to play out. But I also see this World card as them recognizing that you've been through a lot in this connection. They've gained a lot of wisdom. They've gained a lot of lessons. There's been a lot of karmic clearing with the World card being here. Needing to really overcome troubles and lessons and hard lessons too. And I feel like they see how all of your experiences together and separately have cultivated the connection to where it is now. I definitely feel like this person is anticipating a big moment happening between the two of you. And I think that this may happen in the future. Like I don't see them planning it. They're expecting it to happen, either through acquaintances, somebody else orchestrating something. Your paths will cross again. And there's a strong feeling of when you do come face to face again, or when you do see each other, and when you are faced with that opportunity to reconnect and to decide, like, where is this going, you are going to have to figure out what you both want. And so I feel like this person in the meantime is just trying to get stable. They're trying to clear their rubble and rebuild themselves and learn from where they went wrong, so that when that chance comes, they're not making the same mistakes. Your messages are very similar to another group. So if you felt drawn to more than one group, you could have messages in that group as well. I'm just saying. But yours feels very much like a lot of this is out of my control. I'm not trying to play the fixer. Like I'm just trying to restore some of the balance that has been gone from my individual life. And I'm trying to be on damage control to not be more hurtful than I have been, to not cause more harm than I have previously, and to not make more mistakes than I have previously. This person just feels like they are trying to grow up, is the best way I could describe it, by really making some necessary changes to their behavior. So let's get some channeled messages from their 3D self now. What does their 3D self want to say to group 3? What does their 3D self want to say to group 3? We have I can't let go, and summer was being highlighted too. So something significant could have happened in the summertime, or if you're in the northern hemisphere, something significant could be happening in the summertime when it happens. I can't let go. Feeling that strong cord connection to you. We also have easy fix. I definitely feel like their 3D self is just trying to do what is easier. But I also think that they're realizing now that they could have done things differently. It didn't have to be so difficult and destructive in the past. Kissing you makes me melt. There is a strong feeling of missing you in general. So take that as it resonates. If you've had sexual union with this person, obviously they miss that a lot. I don't believe in the divine. So this person is struggling. Well, listen, we don't all have to be spiritual beings. So when I say struggling, I'm not saying that they have to be open to divine energy, but we are all divine beings. So by saying you don't believe in the divine, you technically are refusing the most purest form of yourself. So I feel like this person may not connect with that idea of things being beyond their 3D reality. For that reason, they may not believe in the law of attraction and manifestation, and they may struggle to see beyond this experience and this existence, which means that they don't at times hold themselves accountable for certain things, because to believe in a higher purpose means to believe in that higher accountability as well. So without kind of going into each of their individual versions of faith and belief, I just feel like that card is referencing the fact that this person is struggling to see how their individual actions have caused repercussions. Like there's that strong feeling of damage control again, trying to take accountability, but also thinking like, some of this just, you know, it wasn't my fault. I don't know. Maybe I'm jumping to conclusions there, but I just feel like when they're saying I don't believe in the divine, this person may be in a very stoic place right now where they're just trying to look 2 feet in front of them, not too far ahead, not too far back, you know? Although I do see them searching for answers in their previous interactions with you. Is there anything else that this person's 3D self wants to say? Can I be your sugar baby? That's so hilarious. I was having this conversation with my sister yesterday. Can I be your sugar baby? Oh my God. Okay, well, listen, you're ascending. You're ascending, you're growing. So I feel like this person wants in on that. They want to be a part of that. They want to check in on that. Like, how are you? What have you been doing? Their 3D self may check in with some random sort of calls at random hours of the night or random messages. But I feel like they are genuinely curious about what you've been doing, because I see you ascending, and that's what their higher self was saying. We have the sun at the back of the deck. Be aware of booty calls with this person, please. Please, because their 3D self, if they're that disconnected from their higher self, their 3D self is not going to do things the easy way. They're going to learn the hard way about accountability and responsibility, because that's their lesson right now with the Emperor coming out and the Tower reversed. Their lesson in life is to learn how they impact their own future, their own present, how their actions have heavy repercussions to them when choosing to operate from such a limited peripheral, when you're not choosing to look far enough ahead to realize how you have consequences. I just feel like this person is a little shallow in their 3D view. Their higher self is really trying to guide this person, but the Queen of Needles, sometimes she can be a bit too laser focused on other things instead of themselves. By getting that higher view, you sometimes disconnect from the point of view and you're looking at what everybody else did in that situation. It's like, well, wait a minute, you were there too, Queen of Needles. This is your perspective of the higher perspective, you know, if that makes sense. It kind of reminds me of, like, say you're playing a game like Fortnite or Minecraft, and you're in the same sort of world as somebody else, but when your character goes into the sky, your version of that higher perspective is based off of your individual perspective, right? That person's higher perspective is based off of their individual higher perspective, if that makes sense. I feel like I'm making it more confusing, but I think that this person is not, at times their 3D self is still operating with the shades on or the peripheral covers on. What does group 3's person's highest 3D self, want to say to them? Group 3's 3D self want to say to them? Have I lost everything? See, I think this is the main concern. Amidst all of that, that is the main concern, because they are still learning a lot about what has happened between the two of you in the past. With no reversed, trying to release... Okay, this is interesting, actually. That no reversed is this person's mind slowly seeing things from your way, from your point of view. Remember how remember, that was literally 2 seconds ago. What I was just saying about them only seeing things from their perspective. I feel like there's a lot of emotional processing they need to do on their end, a lot of confusion. 7 of Cups twice. I don't know, I just feel like they got it wrong originally. Like what they assumed about how you saw them or about how you saw the situation was wrong. And now they're realizing that that assumption caused a lot of damage to this connection. What does their 3D self want to say? You are right. Yeah, there's something that they got really wrong here. What did they get wrong? I'm hearing I overstepped. Let me hold you. 7 of Wands. There is this feeling of fighting for this connection, maybe not fighting for it or not showing you what they wanted, or vice versa, assuming that what you wanted, they may have assumed what you wanted, but they were wrong. I feel like their energy was invested in a way where it kind of led you on, group 3. I might just be tuning into 1 or 2 people because that doesn't feel like a strong message. What does group 3's person's 3D self want to say to them? I keep getting all these little cards. What do you want? You feel like a missed opportunity to this person at this point in time. Someone who they are anticipating the chance to connect with soon, though. We have light, inspiration, definitely. You stand out as someone that really inspires this person and helps keep them on track. You make my heart full, the 10 of Cups, reversed. It almost feels like this person has had to let go of their happy ending with you. They have had to let go of expectations that they may get to experience that with you. What else does this person want to say? We have definitely, and we have there is someone else. So I can see how you are both maybe focusing on other things, other people right now. Group 3, I definitely think that their 3D self is trying not to put all their eggs in one basket when it comes to you. I reckon, oh my days, that's so Australian. I really believe that a lot of you need to do a bit more digging before you put all your eggs in this person's basket, because their higher self is trying to let you down easy as their 3D self disconnects emotionally. Their 3D self is trying to grow up, but it's doing it the hard way, going for the easy fixes, which means there is more destruction, and it's going to take time for them to learn that Emperor energy, for them to learn how to take responsibility, accountability. And I think that for some of you, you do need to consider that they may be seeing other people, and that it may be that although your paths are crossing in the near future again, that may be an opportunity for you to confirm the trajectory that you're currently on, rather than try to attempt reconciliation. I really want to get advice for you now, because I'm still feeling that strong energetic cord between the two of you that is making it hard for you to let go of the other. I don't want to lose you. I feel like some of you are really hesitant to lose what you have already invested in this connection. For those where you don't feel a physical separation, I still think there is an emotional separation between the two of you. I still feel like there is a strong disconnect over emotional desires and expectations. What is the advice for group 3 in this situation, Spirit? What is the advice at the time that group 3 gets to this reading? What is the best advice for them? What is the best advice for group 3? Yeah. Thank you, Spirit. At the back of the deck, we have the 6 of Crystals. For some of you, it is time to move away from this connection. It is time to start taking action that is aligning with you moving towards what is going to be helpful and healing for you. For a lot of you, it is time to accept that you have all the information that you need in order to gain the closure that you can afford right now, because I feel like you're not going to get much more from this person. I can see how for a lot of you this person may have shut down, or communication is very difficult and selective with this person. I'm also being shown that, well, actually, let me just show you all the cards first. We have the 5 of Stars. Stars are Pentacles in this deck. We have the Death card. We have the Tower. We have the Hierophant reversed. We have the Hermit card reversed, and we have the Hanged Man upright. So I feel like your advice is saying that you should definitely spend a lot of time considering your feelings, gaining clarity on the information that you already have. Don't distort your perception of reality by delving too deep into the unknown. Don't project what you want to happen based on your intuitive feelings, because energy does not equal intention, especially with this person. Their higher self is very connected to you, and their higher self will always mean well, because our higher selves are connected to our collective consciousness. Conscience? Oh my days. I have a blocked nose right now, so I can't say that word, but there's this benevolence of love and unconditional attachment that their higher self has. And that sounds like a weird thing to say, but it comes from this idea of really wanting to support you and help you on that level. Their higher self is always going to be connected to you for the sake of paying you back for something that happened between the two of you. But their 3D self, it seems to be starving you out, seems to be a part of the problem rather than the solution. So your advice is a reflection of you spending time getting clarity on information you already have. Don't romanticize those facts. Don't project the romanticized version into your reality. Oh my days. Reality. What is going on with my mouth? But pay very close attention to the truth. Pay very close attention to the present, to what is happening right here, right now, not what could be. With this person, I feel like the changes aren't going to be positive. They're only going to confirm the actions you need to take, which for many of you is separation. The actions you need to take do involve you moving away and gaining closure through new experiences. I see transformation. I also see an ending. And I see that for as long as you prolong that ending, there is going to be more and more destruction to deal with, more and more collateral to deal with this tower energy here. Your advice in this connection right now is to strike while the iron is hot when it comes to pursuing your other options, your other opportunities. And I feel like you're not jumping from this person to another person. I feel like you're jumping from this situation into a more peaceful situation where you may feel lonely, but at least you're not alone with someone. You know, that for me is even worse in some ways. Feeling lonely while sitting right next to someone, you can't almost reason that. Like, I shouldn't feel this space between us when we're in the same room. And I think that's what this 5 of Stars is talking about. It came out first. Your advice is to pay attention to how this person actually makes you feel, to how their actions are really trying to show you how they feel. And I think that with this 5 of Stars, if you're feeling alone, I caution you against making decisions based on temporary fixes, based on temporary solutions. And loneliness can be a temporary problem, but the solutions can be permanent in terms of like getting yourself into something serious because of a temporary feeling of loneliness, you know? And I see that 5 of Stars as the main advice being to make changes to your world, so that you don't feel this way, so that you feel like you're not being left behind, so that you feel like you're not being isolated and kind of pushed aside as somebody's second or third choice. And I think that as you progress and gain the clarity that you need from self and from the information that you already have, you're going to see how you have been in a situation with this person where you were kind of holding on to breadcrumbs and hoping for a full meal. And I'm not saying that this is the forever situation with this person. For a lot of you, you will go in and out with them. You will have your ups, your downs, your friendships, your romances. There's off and on feeling. But for right now, I am seeing an ending, a strong feeling of the longer you prolong it, the worse it is going to be with this tower. The more destructive it will be, the more collateral you'll have to clean up. So get clear and pay attention to what you already know. Spirit's saying you already have all the information you need. It's not going to get any clearer than this. The only thing you're lacking is perspective. Get your head straight. Stay connected to reality. Don't over-romanticize. Don't project. And stay very realistic with what you know is going to happen based on what you have seen happen. I hope that is helpful, group 3. That is what I'm seeing for you when it comes to the situation with this person. I'm going to take this into the extended reading now, where we will have a look at the future of this connection. We'll be focusing on what is shifting for you, for them, what is shifting in the connection, and then we're going to get advice as well. I'm really going to get as much information about the future of this connection as I can. It's been very different for the other 2 groups, so we'll see what comes out for you in terms of whether we look at the immediate future or whether we get predictions on the overall future as well. We'll see what comes through. If you would like to join me in the extended reading, the link is in the description box. I shall see you there. Otherwise, I do want to thank you for all of your support, group 3. I really appreciate you for being here, for offering your time, your energy, and your support to me, this community, and free tarot on YouTube in general. It's been a pleasure to read for you. I hope this reading was helpful, informative, and confirming for what you already know. If anything didn't resonate or it was very triggering, I highly recommend that you take what resonates, don't let the rest take from you. And with the triggering messages, dissect that pain. Try to figure out if it is helpful or if it is confusing. And if it is confusing, you need to kind of start to limit how much extra information you're getting. Because at this point, for this group especially, you have all the answers you need to move forward to the peace that you deserve. It is time to stop kind of confusing yourself further and to just focus on what you already know, group 3. You got this. You got this. It will get better. We'll explore more of that in the extended reading. But thank you so much for all of your time, your energy, your support, and I shall connect with you in another video. Bye.